Sup, y'all? I haven't posted in a long time because I've been really busy and I ended up having a major fall and breaking a rib, and it was quite painful, and I am just now starting to feel a lot better from that fall. But I was watching a few videos and I was just thinking a lot lately, about my life and about how horrific my life has been and how many times I've just wanted to give up and just be done. Because I've noticed that it's actually kind of interesting, but I've noticed that this life could be so amazing. This life could be so full. This life could be so great and loving and beautiful. But we have a certain kind of personality trait that seems to come up in people everywhere. Like, it's almost like I'll have experiences with one person and I'll be like, okay, like, this dude's crazy or whatever, or, this chick's crazy or whatever. But then that same spirit that person carries, I'll see it in another person. And I'm like, it's so weird. It's like they're exactly a clone. It's like they're a doppelganger, like mentally and psychologically, of other people that I've experienced. And it's just so interesting to me because it's like, how could there be so many people with this psychotic, narcissistic way of viewing things? And I was just like, wow, I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but I have lost so much trust and so much faith in people in general. And I've just come to stick to myself more often and just do my own thing, because you can't really trust anybody out here. And whether or not, and the thing is, what sucks about it, because it's like, it's hard to discern between this person's a narcissist or this person has to battle demons, or they're just going through it, or they're just young, or they're just still learning. It's hard to differentiate. Now, obviously, if the person's really young, you can give them the benefit of the doubt. But if they're 30, 40, 50, and they're still playing these games where they just want to screw people over, slow people down, make people struggle more than they really have to, it's probably a lost cause for these people when it comes to actually being a genuinely kind, authentic person, because they essentially have come to a reprobate mind, or, a better way to say it, can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? And, I don't really talk about my beliefs, but I pretty much am 100% sure that we're dealing with a huge spiritual battle right now, because it can't be that there's just so many people with malicious intent towards you. You could literally be doing nothing. You're not bothering anybody, you're not doing anything to anybody, and yet people still try to come up in your life and mess up what you're doing, destroy what you're doing. It's like the whole, I heard, I think it was Gary Vee said something like this, most people will see that you have the biggest building, and instead of building, instead of competing in a way that is actually admirable, okay, well, you made a big building, I'm gonna make a taller building. Instead, most people are like, that's too much work. I'm going to tear their building down. And I just don't want to see them happy. And even if they can do it, I don't care, because I can't do it. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to put in the work and the effort that it's going to take to actually make this thing happen. So I'm just going to destroy anybody's chances of being able to enjoy it. Even though most of these people are just shooting themselves in the foot because they would benefit so greatly from some of the things that they're just destroying. And it's just insane to me, because it's like, why are we so self-destructive collectively? Why don't we have a unified front against evil in general? We all know right from wrong. We know what evil is. We know what good is, okay? For the most part. And some things, fall on a line that most people have to learn those lessons, because some things are not always so black and white, and context matters. But for the most part, we know right from wrong, And even though I've made so many mistakes in my life, I've never went out to actually go up against someone and try and tear them down or ruin their life. That's never been my MO. And I'm just kind of confused half the time why I've had to deal with so much trauma and so much abuse. And it's just it's senseless, It's I could understand if I did something wrong to somebody. But it's the ignorance is to the point where you look at somebody and you might look at them in a way that they don't like, and they're already starting problems. It's just, people are just so uneducated. It's so ignorant and so disconnected from their spirit, from the reality of who they are, disconnected from their mission, disconnected from God. And they've come to why I said that reprobate mind, which means, unfortunately, God will eventually send people to their own hand. And what that means is that you can get many warnings to stop doing a certain thing. I have come a long way. I'm not perfect at all. But at the same time, I don't really talk to people. I don't really mess with people. I don't really have friends like that, because I've had so much trouble and trauma to have to work through. And then I noticed that people are not really there for you. And then sometimes if you're too ambitious, people don't like that. And people will literally, I've had people tell me constantly, oh, you're doing too much. And so I don't tell anybody what I'm doing. And then I'm like, oh, well then now you're being secretive. You're too secretive. But it's how do you want it? Because if I tell you, you're going to sabotage me, because that's the thing that happens. It's I'll tell somebody I'm going to do something and they'll sabotage me. And it's maybe one time a coincidence, maybe 2 times a coincidence, but literally every time I open my mouth, it gets sabotaged. It's very clear to me that you don't have the best intentions for me. And I think the good people of this world, the ones that keep getting abused and screwed over, we need to bring out, as LaToya Okio would say, beast mode. Okay? We need to bring out beast mode. We need to literally be cutthroat for good. These people are cutthroat for evil. We need to start putting people in their place and really shouting out loud and screaming bloody murder when we see these people fucking up, screwing over, trying to create flying monkeys, trying to destroy people's lives. I personally never sat here trying to defend myself about any rumors about myself or anything that people have said about me, because it's if you don't have the common sense to figure out both sides, why would I want to be even involved with people like that? It's you don't even have the wherewithal to think, there's 2 sides to a story, and maybe I'm not actually understanding correctly what's going on. Maybe this isn't the full picture. Maybe I'm missing something. If a person doesn't have that ability to think like that in their mind, there's not a lot I can do, and I'm not gonna go and beg somebody to listen to me. I'm not gonna sit here being like, oh, well, don't believe them because, you know, blah. Like, I don't care what people fucking believe. And I'm sorry, excuse my French. I don't care what you believe, okay? If you want to go and do research and you want to properly like scan through things and be able to make an educated conclusion about things, then that's great, okay? That shows that you're right up to par with, you know, what I would have done, because I don't judge people based on what somebody tells me. I judge people based on what I see, what I feel, what this person shows me, because, you know, I don't know why. Sometimes you never know if somebody tried another person and they're just trying to be like, most of the time when someone's talking shit about someone, is because they tried them and they did something they didn't like, and they couldn't dish what they couldn't take what they dished out. And that's usually what it is, okay? Or it's jealousy, or it's, you know, that's another big thing. Like, a lot of these narcissists, you know, they think that, you know, it's like, oh, they're these big bad people, you know, with, you know, these big groups behind them, but they can't stand alone. They always got to get a bunch of people to go up against you, and then you're the one standing alone. Well, why are you standing alone? Because you weren't trying to go against anybody. You didn't even realize there was this whole thing up against you. And so you're just like, what the hell are these people doing? And you're like, oh, fuck this. I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go mind my own business, because I don't have time to deal with this shit. To deal with people's drama, to deal with people's ignorance, to deal with people's immaturity, to deal with people's trauma. And the thing is, it's like, you know, I've realized something. It's like people will gravitate towards what they want to believe about you. You know, they don't, if people wanted to actually know who I was, they would get to know who I was. But instead, people were like, oh, let me just, you know, play this game too, be a flying monkey too, you know, and that's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna keep sticking to myself, doing my own thing, putting out messages when I feel I need to put out these messages. My goal is to make this place a living hell for anybody with a narcissistic disorder. I mean, an absolute living hell. And this is what we all should do. We should make narcissists' life an absolute living hell. You don't have any integrity. You don't want to do things the right way. You like taking shortcuts to look good. Well, we are going to make sure these people pay hell for everything that they did to us. Okay, we are going to literally work harder, faster, smarter. And you know what? There's going to come a point where they're not going to be able to keep up. They can hate all they want. Okay, because the thing is that the authentic people are the ones that are going to be able to handle what's coming. The authentic people are going to be able to stick through this. The authentic people, the ones with the real work ethic, are going to be able to handle it. And the people that keep talking shit, that's all they're going to have. And then they're going to be on their knees begging you for help. Begging the ones that they wanted to screw over for help. You know, and the thing is it sucks because a lot of us have to deal with it with our family. It's like, damn, you don't even have family to run to. You don't really have that, like, honest, truthful thing, because your parents or whatever, they already made you look bad to the whole family. So the whole family, you know, they believe whatever they said. And so now you're the black sheep of the family, and, you know, whatever the case might be. And half of it's not even true. And it's worse. It's worse when, you know, you have siblings who are just like the rest of the family, narcissistic, liars, love to screw you over, you know, and take advantage of, you know, certain situations. And then you're the ignorant, naive one who doesn't even want to hurt a fly, and yet people want to hurt you. You are the one getting hurt. You're the one getting, you know, screwed over constantly. Like, the amount of times I've been betrayed is just, like, I look back And I'm like, wow, I was so naive and stupid. I should have seen this. But when your heart is not coming from that kind of place, it is hard to see that. When your heart is not thinking maliciously towards these people, it is hard to see that. It is hard to see people being fake when you are just trying to send love. And you know, I get that, okay? People want to sit here and victim blame. Oh, well, you should have known. You're so stupid, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, I'm not stupid for loving. I'm not stupid for keeping my heart open. I'm not stupid for thinking that I could have trusted you when you made me believe that I could. You're stupid for thinking that that's how you should treat somebody. You're stupid for thinking that this is something that you can sustain. You're stupid for being selfish and only caring about what others can bring to you instead of understanding that you guys there's a spiritual and there's a heart connection that has to happen. And the reason why half y'all feel so empty is because y'all are disconnected from what actually matters, and you're more connected to the materialistic world that we live in. And so we sit here destroying, depleting, and killing our nature for what? So we can have stuff and then all be miserable still? So we can have pretty stuff, but yet still be living miserable, paycheck to paycheck, so you can have stuff. You know, I'm not trying to get preachy here, but I'm just like on another level of frustrated recently. And I just really would love if this world could change in a way where it is hell for people like that in heaven for people like us, where, you know, telling people to have a good day is not like a weird thing, you know, like, hey, you know, have a good day. You know, you check out somewhere, have a good day. You know, I was checking out at a Wawa, getting some food and some gas. And, you know, this girl, she was like, thank you, have a nice day. When I was checking out, I was like, oh, you have a great day too. Thank you. And she was like, wow, you're like the first person that said that to me, said it back to me today. Like, I wonder why people are like that, you know? And I was like, you know, that's odd, because like, I always tell people to have a good day, you know? And she's like, I was like, I wonder the same thing too, because it's like so interesting. Like, so many people will tell you to have a good day and you won't even think twice to wish them a good day as well, because society doesn't give a shit about each other anymore. You walk around and you're like, give me my thing, give me my service, give me my thing. Okay, now fuck you. I don't even care about you. You're just here to fulfill a need. And that's how narcissists think. They don't think about the person. They think, oh yeah, fucking do my nails, do my feet. Yeah, thanks. That's your fucking job. You shouldn't have chose this job if you don't want to be a fucking lowly person doing this or doing that, or a cashier. It's like, you know, this is a problem, is that society, no regard for life, no regard for the place that people are at, you know. And the thing is that, you know, some people be like, oh, you're this age, you should be here by now. But it's like, everybody matures at their own rate. You don't ask an oak tree to be giant in just 20 years, because that is not that. The oak tree takes so many years to mature and get to a point they can live for hundreds of years. So you can't compare an oak tree to a palm tree. They're different things, and so everybody takes their own little time to do their own little thing, and not every oak tree is gonna grow the same way either. So you can't be like, oh, well, you're an oak tree, you have to go by this standard. No, sometimes they do their own thing, you know. So you can't just be applying whatever you believe has to be on people. People are on their own journey. People are learning their own thing, being compassionate, being considerate, giving a shit about the people that hand you your cup of coffee, giving a shit about the people that check you out. Okay, because you know, what if they weren't there? What if there was no store to go to? You know, people don't value the society that we live in today. People don't value the things that make people who we should be, the loving people that we should be, the community that we should be. You know, they say it takes a village. There are no more villages. It takes a village to live and flourish and be happy and, you know, do the things that we need to do. And, you know, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, we're so inconsiderate about all of the things that come with being a human. We're so inconsiderate with all of the things that come with just caring about each other and just, you know, it's like people on the road, like, you know, just rushing you, trying to fucking cut you off and like hurt you and get you into a car accident, whatever. It's like, you know, some of us are driving injured. You know, I noticed this. I was like, you know, I was thinking like, wow, I wonder how all the injured people feel when they're driving. Because I was driving with a broken rib, and that shit is serious. That is not something that you want to do. Definitely. We need to be more considerate. Like, that's another thing about people, narcissism, driving on the road. It's like, there are people that are injured or older or sick, or they cannot maneuver, or they can't handle certain things, or, you know, they're dealing with a lot, they're stressed out, or they're sick. And people are just driving, like, in a way, and it's just like, you don't understand the amount of times, like, someone was just driving up on me trying to kill me, and I have a broken bone, so, you know, and the thing is like, it's not like I don't have people to depend on like that. Like, I have to do everything on my own. If I had to go to the store, I gotta buy groceries, I gotta do it. I have to do it. It doesn't fucking matter if I'm broken or not. I have to do what I have to do, you know? But people will go behind you in a car and, like, you know, like, you're like, oh my God, and you're trying to drive fast, you're straining yourself, you're hurting yourself because people are getting so angry and aggressive with you on the road because you're not moving fast enough. And this is what I'm saying. We lack compassion. We're not thinking. Most people are in the car and they're like, oh, this stupid driver, they're going so slow, you mother effer, not thinking, oh, you know, maybe that person's dealing with something, you know. And I am guilty of this too. Like, you know, I'll be driving, you know, kind of fast, and like, I'll get mad because somebody's being so slow. But then I think, wow, you know, what if they are dealing with something and they can't move that fast, and then we're causing more trauma and more accidents and more issues to people that they really can't even move that fast because, man, oh my God, just turning the wheel and all that, oh my God, you don't understand how much you need your rib bones, your back bones, and all that muscle, but it's holy hell painful. And so I really need to give this message to people. Like, we're just uncompassionate. We're just not doing it correctly. We're not being human enough towards each other. Or maybe, you know, you might be human to somebody that looks like you, but you're not human to other people. And it's just like, we all are human. We all need to work together. And, you know, and that's another thing too. You know, I know this video is kind of getting long, but this is also very important. I noticed that people that look closer to me, they treat me better. But the less that somebody looks like me, whether they're black or white or whatever, they will treat you, depending on the personality, but they will treat you weird, like a little bit more like you're an outsider or whatever. And I'm mixed. I don't fit into any category, you know? And as a mixed person, I don't really care what ethnicity somebody is. But people who are like purebreds, for some reason, they care. And that's the thing, like, that's another issue about, like, you know, the purebreds, you know, that I don't like, because, you know, as a mixed person, you look in and you're like, wow, that's so ignorant. Like, you don't like me because I'm too light or too dark? That's such an ignorant thing to think, to say. It's like, you're so disconnected from humanity that you only see humanity in people that look like you. Like, what? Then you have no humanity if you think that only people that look like you are worth anything. Okay? Then you're just as bad as any other mother effer out there. And so, you know, I'm just, frustrated. I've come high on it, like, genuinely, like, I thought I was gonna die. Like, I thought I was gonna die, okay? And going to the hospital, when I went to the hospital, like, that's another thing. Like, the hospitals are not what they should be. And the schools are not what they should be. And, we're paying money and taxes and all this stuff to have these things ran or whatever. All for almost like mediocre service and mediocre care. It's like, how much money that we pay to the schools, to the public school system, and yet they don't even teach us anything relevant or really important. Like, I dropped out of college, and it was probably the best thing I ever did, because honestly, I didn't want, I look back now and I'm like, thank God I don't have all these loans to pay off. Thank God I didn't get all like stupefied in college and turn into some weird thing, because it's like a lot of the people that I knew that did go to college, like, they don't understand life the way that they think. Like, they understand the computer. They understand, getting a job. They understand being online. But I just think, what if all that disappears? Your life is not a computer, but yet people literally live their whole lives like on a computer or online or whatever. And it's like, your physical reality is literally changing around you. Things are changing around you at a rapid pace. Things that are happening should not be happening, but everybody's just worried about what's online. It's like, your eyes are closed to everything else that's happening around you. Your eyes are closed to what the animals are saying. Your eyes are closed to the plants, to the weather, to everything. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Why are we so fucking ignorant? Why are people so ignorant? Why are we so dumb? Why is this the level that we've only come to this level, and now we're like, okay, well, we've come to this level. Let's start a war. Let's have a war. Let's all like kill each other, Okay. And so it's just, and I know it's not all like bad and horrible all the time. But we're living in such a narcissistic world. We live in, like, one of the biggest things I feel like is so wrong. It's like, why do we have to pay for food? We have to pay for food because we have to pay for the labor that it takes to make the food. Okay? So with that concept, I do understand. But what is it that we have homeless people starving and kids starving and nobody's getting like the proper full nutrition, and we're just like, we will let a person starve to death before, It's crazy to me that food and water is not like free to some extent. Like, I feel like, why isn't the streets lined with fruit trees? Why is it so difficult why is there a lot of places where you can't even grow food on your front lawn, even if you own the property? It's like the society wants you to be so disconnected from what actually feeds you. They want you to be like, oh, it's the grocery store that feeds you. It's like, no, honey, the grocery store doesn't feed you. The grocery store goes to the farms and says, hey, I need a shipment of this, this, and that. And the farms with the plants, that's what feeds you. That's what feeds you. But people think, oh, food, grocery store equals food. No, that's not true. That is not true. And I'm hoping it doesn't get worse. I hope things do get better. But given the ignorance of most of the people in society, given the selfish desires and the fact that most people, they don't want to be outed because of X, Y, and Z, we're going down a path that's going to be very dark. And unless people like you and me, people with integrity, people who care, people who tell other people to have a good day, unless people like you and me stand up the world is just going to come to more and more of a decline. More and more. And so I am trying to reach as many people as I possibly can with this message, because, you know, I'm pretty sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of all of the shit that I'm constantly having to go through. And it's most of my problems are because somebody didn't want to see me happy. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, when you're happy, people get mad that you're happy. Like if I get happy, it makes others upset sometimes. And I try not to be so happy around people. Maybe not smile so much, you know. But it's like, why? Why do people always just want to steal someone's joy? You know, why don't people want to work on themselves? You know, we always got to tear somebody down. And not me. Like, I have no desire to tear people down. That's why I stick to myself. I do my own thing. I have joys. I have my secret joys. Because I don't want someone to come in and ruin it. But, you know, it's just a food for thought, you know? Food for thought. How do we make this place better? We start becoming better. We start being better. You know, we recognize that person that said, have a good day. We tell them to have a good day. And we ask God to make us better and better every single day. All right? Don't let yourself get a reprobate mind because you're too stubborn to see that some of the things that you're doing is destructive to you or people around you. Don't do that. So, you know, I'm going to leave it with that. You know, I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Don't know when I'm going to post next, but, you know, I was inspired to talk about this, you know, and yeah, I will see you next time.